Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, July 8, 2011. What an interesting week. Let's start looking at a couple of the critical charts here. This is the S&P 500 Trust, SPY. Here's our support line. Here's our uptrend line. Here's our old recent high. Here's our recent strong advance with a gap up day and a day down, which really is almost a gap day down right here. If we punch in closer and look at the 1 week picture, you can see that we have the gap up, we have the gap down. The day trended a little up, but still never reached the lows of the previous day. So what does that mean? We'll jump over to the S&P 500. We can see, well, it does have this connecting line. That may be just a technical matter. We have much the same pattern here. What an interesting pattern, huh? Well, what that has me worried about is that we are looking at our head and shoulders pattern that we've been discussing from time to time. We can go to QQQ Power Shares, which is obviously a broader market index. Go up to the 1 year, and you can see one top, two tops, three tops. Is that a triple top happening there? Jump to the S&P 500, which we just looked at. Again, shoulder, head. Is that a shoulder? Pretty close. We just don't know. I don't have the confirming volume. But I want to show you Southern Company. Is this a double top? We came up to essentially the same price, and then we have pulled back. Okay, we're still above our trend line, but that's the pattern that's developing there. If we go to the telephone company, another widely held stock, here's the overhead resistance. Is this a double top or is it not? We don't know yet, but it is something to be concerned about. Looking at Exxon, there's a top, there's a top. We have a channel, we have a failure in the channel, but it does come back up into the channel and we have a down day. This is not a strong picture. Doesn't mean it's bearish to me. Doesn't mean it's bullish to me. I think it's an indecision pattern. We could be base building and doing accumulating, or we could be doing distributing and creating a top. It's only time that will tell us the right answer to those issues. If we just go look here, this is the Dow Jones 30 Industrials. Shoulder, head, shoulder? Don't know. Too early to tell. Look, if you extend this line here, we really have nothing but a big mess. I mean, I can't tell you what that's doing exactly, except to say that it does look a little toppy, looks a little risky. Personally, I'm interested in standing aside. If we go to the utility average, just like Southern Company, which is part of this average, this is looking very much like a double top. See the little dotted line? Double top possibility here. Now we are still above the uptrend, but I'm just pointing that top out to you. Here are the transports. Transports are in new high territory. Now, being very dependent on fuel, does that tell us anything? I don't know. We will look at fuel in a minute, but look what's happening there. That's diverging a little bit from some of the other indexes. Diverging in the sense that it's gone to a new recent high. There's the Russell 2000, same high, not broken into new highs. Russell 3000, same high, not broken into new highs. Excuse me, and here's the dollar index. Staying in this channel. We have the overhead, we have the support, we're in the channel, it's indecisive. I think what we're seeing is a market that is trying to figure out if Barack Obama is going to be elected president again, trying to figure out what the Congress is going to do about debt, trying to figure out where the path of the dollar is, and therefore is largely in an indecision pattern. Largely in an indecision pattern is the way I read this. I'm going to jump back to a couple of other things to look at. We have UUP, another dollar index. Indecision pattern, really trapped between this line as an overhead and this line as support. I'm not going to tell you which way I think it's going to go because I don't know. Here's oil. Notice oil broke its line and it's climbed back up and now is pulling back down. Very interesting chart there. Now to the metal, silver. What a wandering little day this has been for silver. Go to 3-month chart. Yes, it's up. Yes, it's above this trend line. It's also below that trend line. Yes, it's broken this line, but really what's happened is this line is fanning, which, who knows what that really means. But we are between this overhead resistance and this uptrend support, which has been very weak. I think this is a market trying to figure out what the future holds. If we go to SIVR, which is an ETFS Silver Trust, another ETF fund dealing with silver, we still get this sideways pattern. I don't see anything decisive. Notice that and that, same price. Let's look at Rogers Elements International Commodity Index. Downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. Okay, here's Rogers, another commodity index. This is agricultural. We've heard a lot about agricultural prices going up, and that seems to be true, but this index is certainly not going up in this time frame. If we jump out to a 6-month time frame, here are the highs, lower highs, same low, lower highs, lower low. It looks to me like people are starting to think that we will not have inflation, and that we will not have Barack Obama as president, and that we will have strong Republican, or at least a Republican, who will get some control over the crazy tax policies of the Obama administration and bring some semblance of predictability and sanity back to business. That's what I think these markets are looking at. If we look at gold, still in the uptrend. Gap up day today in this little move. Let's bring it back to like a 1-month chart. Gapping around quite a bit. Take that for what it's worth. And I think let's go back here and sum this up with one last look at dollar index DXYO. Come on, let's bring the dollar index up. Maybe we won't be looking. Well, the computer has decided that we don't want to see that, so I guess we won't be seeing that. Let's take it and look at the Dow Jones 30 as our last chart. We'll go from the 1 week to the 3-month. There's a high, there's a lower high, lower low, and that low. Go back to the 6-month. That's a higher low than that low. Shoulder, head, shoulder, don't know. That's what we need to worry about right there. Are we making double tops in some things, triple tops in some things, head and shoulders in others? All of those are potentially topping formations, or we could get fooled and they could all be base building for another climb to the top. And I just think we have to wait and see which way this market's really going, whether it's metals, stocks, the indexes, the commodities funds, or any of these other vehicles. We just have to wait and see right now. I don't think there's a clear read. Thank you for your patience and listening to me, and I hope you have a good trading.